Ryan Gosling's Court Gentry is poised to be the next big action hero. Gosling stars in Netflix' The Gray Man. It's based on a series by Memphian Mark Greany.
It's surreal, and I hate
It
saying
should
surreal
be.
because it's
Netflix has never spent this much on a movie. The price tag of the star-studded thriller is well over the $200 million mark. It premieres in theaters in mid-July and then streams on Netflix. Not bad for a graduate from White Station High and a self-described not good English student.
I was a bartender till I was 31, and I had other jobs, but I was a guy working like 3 jobs with a beat-up car, and I just wanted to be a writer for a really long time, and it took me 20 years from the first time I started writing to the day I got published.
Greany was majoring in international relations at what was then Memphis State when he got interested in international intrigue. But he didn't come up with the Gray Man until he was on a trip in South America while working for Medtronic.
I was in El Salvador and saw this guy who was really interesting to me, and I just made up a whole backstory for him that he was ex-CIA and he's being chased by the agency, so he's like hiding out in a beach town in El Salvador, but he's still an assassin.
2 books later, Greany got a call that would change his life, a chance to co-write with the late Tom Clancy, the author who created Jack Ryan.
I said, I'm just going to write 50 pages like I was working with Tom Clancy, because I knew all the characters. I was a big Clancy fan going back to the 80s. So yeah, I just turned that in, and they're like, all right, you got the job. I went up to Baltimore to meet Tom, and I did 3 with him before he passed away.
Pretty awesome, right? Greany and I survey his bookshelf. 7 Clancy books, 11 in the Gray Man series, with another coming out next year, plus a couple of standalones, including his latest, Armored. He comes by the writing honestly. His late father, Ed, worked 50 years at a Memphis television station, retiring as VP of News.
My one regret in life is I didn't get published before he passed away. He was a great editor of my stuff. He passed away long before I got published, but he read some early things that I wrote.
I've read most of the series. They're gripping, hard to put down, fast-moving. The details take you there. Mark's research has taken him to 38 countries and counting. But he didn't have to go far to learn the weapons and tactical skills that keep the Gray Man alive.
It's Camden, Tennessee, so it's on the Tennessee River. It's a place called Tactical Response, and I was basically a mascot there. I've probably taken 50 classes there over a 15-year period. When I started going there, it was in the middle of Iraq and Afghanistan, so there were a lot of private military civilian contractors.
Greany has spent years developing the fictional Court Gentry, so I wondered, is Ryan Gosling up to the job?
Even the physical description he has, but he also relays a lot without being very vocal. And there's a lot of humor in the book and in the screenplay, and also a lot of really edgy, gritty action and violence. And to be able to do both those things, I think is, a special talent.
What's next? Greany is writing a lot.
It's most definitely getting harder to write. After 22 books, I'll start writing something and I go, wow, that seems like something I did in book 4 or book 11 or book 19. And then you have to back up and go out. But it's my job to go out and get new information into my brain so I'm able to come up with new creative things. And it does get tougher as time goes on.
As for the movies, it sounds like a pretty safe bet to expect a whole lot of Gray Man in the future.
The Russo brothers definitely want to do more in the franchise, and they've talked about it and publicly. So I'm hoping that happens. I've also told myself that you're so lucky to have one film made in the career of an author. It's still a 1,000,000 to 1 shot.
For Fox 13, Valerie Calhoun.